Yo, just looking for somebody, anybody to jump on here and make a. You can't hear me. Yo, do you hear me now, Bruce Gas? Yo. Okay, cool. All right, sorry. I know it's late in the day for you, Bruce. But anybody else, if the link's working, jump on. Just if only to help me figure this shit out. Oh shit! How do I give you a wrench? What do I got to do here? Hang on. Okay, I got you a star. I gave you a star. I don't know that does you any good though. What the fuck? How do I? Where's my wrench? Hey, where is your wrench? That's a good question, Bruce Cass. Where the fuck is your wrench? Goddamn. Fair. Well, if somebody gets on here live and talks to me and explains to me how to do this, well, I'll be sure. I will be sure. Okay. I got to walk me through it, Bruce. I will. I will get you. I will get you your wrench for sure. All right. I'm in YouTube. It's the invite settings. Is it settings? Nah, it can't be settings. Someone's gonna have to jump on, live and walk me through this. I'm sorry. Oh shit! Who's this Electrojet? Oh shit! Hey! Oh my god! Did I actually manage to pull it off after all these years?
Pull what off?
Pull off a live, and you where more than me can where a live that isn't me talking to myself.
You could be on anybody's live and you're talking to yourself.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Ha ha. I know you're not wrong. Not wrong. You. How you doing? How you doing, brother?
Doing all right. I see Rick Smith was over there. I didn't want to deal with him.
Oh, dude, he gets tiresome, man. You know what I mean? Like, it's like he's one of them dudes. It's like for me, anyways. I feel like once I've made my point, regardless of whether anybody listens, you know what I mean. Once I feel like I've expressed my point on the guy, I'm done. You know what I mean?
Continue. Hold on a second. I forgot my microphone is way the fuck over here.
That's good. That's because you're old. That's because your old lady's leaving you alone and not let you know.
Can you hear me better now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
No problem. How you been, man?
I'm doing all right. Just looking forward to this week's fights.
Right. Okay. Well, let's catch up because I've been kind of more during the holidays. Say Thanksgiving, right, to New Year's, I've kind of been in blackout mode, right? Because I have to deal with family and all that nonsense, and it's getting to the point where like my mom, my dad, and my stepmom, they're getting old, so I kind of have to be more involved than I would want to normally.
Oh no, dude, I totally understand that. I totally get that.
So it was, it's. I don't mean this in a bad way towards anybody that I talk to on boxing YouTube. I just mean it's a matter of priorities. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
For sure, I sure do, man.
Yeah. So okay. So first off, let's go right where I want to go, if you don't mind. Do you think
it's your room, man? Let's go where you want to go.
Do you think Fury is really gonna fight Usyk, or is he gonna find another excuse?
I wouldn't be surprised if the fight doesn't happen this year.
Okay, you think it happens?
I think it happens, but I think it might. There's a good possibility it won't happen this year.
You think? Oh, okay. So you think it happens, but he probably finds another interim excuse.
Yeah, there'll probably be another excuse. Hopefully not. I hope that everything goes through. Honestly, I hope everything goes through and we get this fight.
I
But
hear you.
I would not be surprised if it doesn't.
Okay, now I respect your view on things, Jed. What do you think happens if Fury fights Usyk? Because you already know what I think, right? And I've been, I think, pretty upfront, right? And I'm not even saying, I'm not trying to say I'm right. I'm just saying, I put my position out there pretty early, right?
I think the fight goes the distance.
Okay,
Honestly,
I agree with that. I agree
I
with
think the
that
fight
part.
goes the distance because I do not think that that Usyk is going to be able to
He,
knock out
right,
Fury.
right.
Fury's just got a tough fucking dog.
Too big of a unit. He did too big of a
Yeah,
unit. Yeah.
yeah. And that being said, Usyk has to, and I say this with the utmost reluctance, but Usyk has to soundly beat him. Soundly beat him, because if it's at all a close fight,
He's
I
gonna
feel
get
like he'll
fucked.
get,
They're
yeah.
gonna fuck him. You reckon? Huh?
I do. I truly believe they'll fuck him over if he does not soundly beat Fury.
Okay, let me ask it. Let's. This is going to be for some people a harsh question, and I don't mean it that way, but it's an unavoidable question. Does he have to beat Fury the same, or does he have to beat Fury more convincingly than he beat AJ than 2 times to get the decision?
About the same or more.
Okay, okay. So
Put it
so
this way: he'd have to beat Fury the way he beat AJ the first time. The second time was closer. If the fight goes,
right, yeah. Yeah, the
if the
second
fight
time he
goes,
almost yeah.
yeah, if the fight goes the way it did with AJ the second time, they could
He might
possibly,
get fucked. He might
yeah,
get fucked out.
yeah,
Ah, okay. Yeah, because the first time he almost knocked him out, didn't it?
yep.
If I remember right, he
Oh yeah, he hurt
AJ
him.
was on Wobbly Street, right? And
Yep.
that's no, not I'm not trying for those out there that might be listening or care. I'm not knocking AJ. I'm just saying, telling you what I saw, right?
Yeah.
And I think I mentioned earlier, like I was trying to explain to them before you maybe came around, Jed. To me, guys like Fury and AJ, right? They are what I call they're automatic lock candidates for the Hall of Very Good, or even you might say quote unquote great, right? But to me, Usyk is special. Usyk is special. He's a special talent, is what I mean, right? And that's why I'm so confident, right, that if Fury fights him, he's gonna. I've never. This is the most confident, more than Crawford Spence. All right, most confident I've been in my life, Electro Jed. I'm telling you. All right, what's my name? I'm not saying it's the same exact fight. I'm just telling you. You know what I mean? The aesthetic of the fight.
Right.
Big, tall guy, talented. Reasonably talented, champion, etc. Just completely outclassed by a guy with way more hand speed, foot speed, and more importantly, fluidity. And I really think that's something that I use that word all the time in our conversations, right? But I feel like a lot of modern fans just don't understand what that means. Fluidity. Like that, like you'll always hear especially the old school boxing, trainers, right? They'll talk about swimmers build, right?
Right.
Being ideal, right? As opposed, no offense, all right. Boxing beats and rhymes. I love you, brother. No offense, I love AJ, but the swimmers build like Usyk is. If you ask like an Angelo Dundee and Eddie Futch, right? That's what they're looking for, not the bodybuilder. They're looking for the swimmer's build, right?
Right.
Fluidity, ability to, combination of ability to put movements together and stamina, right?
Right.
And that's what I think is going to happen. I think that when I say Usyk is going to tear Fury apart, and I make reference to the Ali versus what's his name?
Ali fought a lot of motherfuckers now. Don't put me on.
No, come on. It was the guy that he beat for the WBA title in his first run. Big, tall guy. We were just talking about it earlier. Oh, my God.
You're talking about the former no, I'm fucking I lost the words now.
That's okay. That's okay. You know what? I'm not gonna front. I'll pull up the goddamn box rack and be honest about the fact that I'm pulling up the goddamn box rack, and just, you know what I mean. Tell people that's what's up. Let me see. And I bet as I'm pulling it up, I'll probably remember my goddamn guy's name. All right, here we go. Because I know we both know who we're talking about without knowing the name.
But my
right?
memory sucks, man. Whenever I put it on the spot, I always forget.
Right. Well, and we were just talking about it too. To be fair,
I just got here, so.
Yeah. Yep. No, hey, fair play. Well played, sir. Well played. All right.
Sonny Liston?
No. Ernie Terrell. There we go. Ernie Terrell. Ernie Terrell was a big, right, 6'5", 6'6", talented, very good heavyweight. Okay, he didn't just stumble into that WBA version of the title. He won it in a tournament. Okay, right.
Right.
But nonetheless, when he fought Ali, the key point is and the key equation I'm making, right, is the difference in the hand and foot speed, and just, you know what I mean, the way he was here's the thing. To me, Fury and AJ, to me, they are very good or even great, for their time talents. Usyk is special. He's the one that I see having special talent, right? And that's what happened with Ernie Terrell. He was a very good, maybe even great heavyweight, but he ran into a special talent. You understand?
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know about special. All right. I know that for this generation, or for this boxing generation, he's definitely one of the elite fighters of the heavyweight division. No doubt about it.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say that, there's not that many elite fighters in the heavyweight division right now.
Oh, yeah.
Just so we understand where I'm standing with. But he's one of the few elite fighters. Yes. Special? For me, special is Mike Tyson, a Evander Holyfield, a Ali.
Ali, yep.
An Ali, a Joe Frazier. Those guys were special.
Fair enough. Okay. Maybe I should be. You're right. I appreciate what you're saying, because you're making me, refine what my position. So, okay, I guess what I'm more saying, right? It's not so much that Usyk is special to the degree that, say, Ali or Frazier or any of them guys that you mentioned are special.
Right.
It's more, in my humble opinion, the gap between him and Fury and AJ.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing.
So I guess
Fury,
relatively special.
As much as I dislike Fury, I'm not going to take away from his talent. Fury, at one point in time, has had all the belts.
Mm-hmm.
At any given time, he has had all the belts. So let's not.
He is. That's why I said I wouldn't, if someone says to me Fury is a great talent, I would not. You know what I mean? I wouldn't take much exception to that. Yeah, I would agree. He's great, especially if we're talking within his era, right? But to me, the only guy at heavyweight, and he moved up to heavyweight, which ought to tell you a lot. The only guy at heavyweight that to me jumps out as a special talent is Usyk. as of right now. Obviously, this. You know what I mean. These are all of this can change.
Right, right. No,
But
I get what you're
so
saying.
I to me, AJ and Fury, I feel like they have different strong suits, but overall they're roughly on the same level. Okay, and let's go great. Let's go. I'll even go so far as to say great. Right, within their own time period.
Yeah.
AJ and Fury are great. Usyk is special. He's the one, in my humble opinion, with the special talent. Okay, just the same way, and I'm not saying this makes me right, but I'm saying this to kind of make clear that I have a sort of a consistent methodology to my thinking. In the same way that I've always felt Terrence Crawford, right? Errol Spence, Sean Porter, etc., were very good, maybe even great, but Terrence Crawford was special. Does that make sense? I'm
No,
not
I
saying
get you.
you. I'm not asking you to agree. I'm just asking, does that make is what I'm saying make sense, and then we can, you know, break bread
Like
on.
I'll give you my definition. What's up, Puro? Like, all right. Let's use Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford is excellently skilled. He is a prime example of what a boxer should live like. He is
Would you call him special in the context of the current crop of welterweights?
I consider Anui more special than a
No,
Crawford.
no, no.
Here's why.
Oh, okay.
Wait,
No,
wait,
hang on. No,
listen.
no, no, no. You're not
No,
right.
no,
Hang on,
no,
hang
no,
on.
no, no, no,
I'm
no,
not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're
no, no.
wrong.
Well, you got
But,
to. I'm trying to explain my
yes,
my
sir.
thought
Sorry,
process.
sorry. My
Okay,
bad.
my thought process is this: I look for boxers that put the work in, that fight multiple times a year, that make no excuses. All right, they will fight anyone. All right, whether it be their mandatory, and they do fight their mandatories and champions. Okay, that being said, you know, the only thing that's missing from Crawford's resume is the work ethic. He only fights once a year.
That is not gonna lie. I 100% agree. 100% agree. Well, I mean, to be fair, I would say that's a common problem with most of our elite fighters,
Yes,
especially
it is.
especially Americans.
It is. Now that could be due to the fact that I might be spoiled from being from earlier boxing eras.
Dude. Listen. I always tell everybody they're like, "Oh, you got Muhammad Ali." Yeah, because guess what? Yeah, he was my cartoon superhero. I was, you know what I mean? Think about it, Electro Jed, right? I'm 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, right?
Right.
Because I'm born in '68. So he's fighting. I'm like only 2 or 3 years old when he's fighting Frazier the first time. But big time fights are coming on free TV. Ron Lyle, so on and so forth. Replays of the Frazier fights, replays of the Foreman fight, and so on. Right?
Right. Got you.
He's a cartoon. He's I literally for me as a child, he's literally just intermingled with my cartoons. You get what I mean? It's like what I mean.
Yeah. No. I know. I understand.
He's a superhero. He was a. I don't know how else to explain it. And I laugh.
Ali was larger than life.
And just I have to laugh because it's like I feel like I can't. I'm sorry, but I know you probably heard this before, but I lived right in the middle of the fucking sticks, like out in the middle of fucking nowhere, right? We didn't even get CBS fully. We got the audio for CBS. We got ABC, NBC, right? On our little you might remember the antennas that were kind of kite shaped.
Yeah, the rabbit ears.
No,
The
no,
rabbit ears are the
no,
ones
no,
on
no, no, no. My
the
shit
ones
was
on the
tight.
roof.
My shit was on the roof. Exactly. The old man would send me on the roof and be like, left, or turn it
Yeah,
this way, turn it that way.
yeah.
But we would get ABC, NBC, and we got the audio for CBS. Okay,
Right.
3 channels, and even think about it. With that limited of a media exposure, this motherfucker is a cartoon superhero, Electrojet. You mean you know what I mean? I find myself quoting him when I go to school. You know what I mean, and whatnot. It's like, you know, in modern terms, how does that happen? Right? You know, these kids don't get it because they have 150 channels. Right?
Right.
I mean, I don't know if you remember the
Dude, I was born in '65.
Oh, okay, you get it then. You understand the 3 channel era. You remember the 3 channel era.
Yeah, I got ABC, NBC, CBS, and
Yeah.
PBS, and maybe occasionally WPIX.
Oh, and then I think I don't know if it was called Fox, but like Channel 13 eventually became a thing. It was like a Fox affiliate or something. You know.
Right.
Yeah. But the point being, you know, look, man, we had guys that were, forget Ollie, not just Ollie, Sugar Ray Leonard, Thomas Hearns, Marvin Hagler, right, so on and so forth. We had guys that were monster stars back when we had 3 fucking channels.
Yeah, all the fights were free except for the ones like the big fights, the mega
The
fights,
biggest.
which were usually the heavyweight fights. Went on CCTV, closed caption television, and you were able to rent that.
And on top of that, Jed, check this out. I don't know, you know, if this was specific to where I lived, but in my region, you would get replays. So like the Thrill in Manila, when the Thrill in Manila happened, I believe that was 76, right? We got about at most, it was 12 months later. We got on Saturday, fucking Saturday morning, middle of cartoon time, right? We got the fucking free replay of Thrill in Manila. Same thing with the goddamn the Rumble in the Jungle. Same thing with with all the big fights that weren't free to begin with, right? With Ali, that's the thing. You either got fights like Ron Lyle. I mean, think about this, Electrojet. We got Ron Lyle for free. Ali versus Ron Lyle for free.
Yeah, and if that was to happen today, that would be a pay-per-view.
Oh, 100%. And then the ones that were pay-per-view, we got within 6 to 8 to 12 weeks after it happened. Hey, Hero, what's up, brother?
What up, Mr. Doc? What up, EJ?
Hey, man, what's up?
What's up, Bruno?
Yeah. Sorry if I'm still kind of sorting out how to make this all work. So you heard what we were talking about, right? What's your thoughts? How do you feel about all this?
I mean, the same as everybody else, Like, yeah, everything's a pay-per-view nowadays. I tell you guys.
So, well, okay, what were some of the say, like I forgive my terminology, but like say Saturday morning cartoon heroes are boxing guys that were like the equivalent of Saturday morning cartoon heroes for you?
I would have to say Chavez.
Julio Senior. You say Chavez Senior, yeah.
Who else? Fucking. Shit, man.
What about Oscar? Was Oscar that?
Not
no.
for me. Yeah. Yeah, probably just Chavez. The rest, that's just because I idolized Chavez as a kid. But as I grew older, I don't really.
Oh, okay. Well, what about the Morales Barrera? Oh God, Marquez triumvirate? What about them guys?
I respect them a whole lot, but I was already
Okay, so okay. So so it was past the point of.
Yeah,
I get it.
A child's way of seeing
Gotcha.
Or like a personal figure,
Right. Because the reason I bring that up, right, is because on the one hand, I'm very knowledgeable about, like, 60s and 70s heavyweights, right? But at the same time, I freely admit, like I was telling Electrojet, for me, a lot of these guys were the equivalent of, like, cartoon superheroes.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Because I was 8, 9, 10 years old.
Yeah,
you know, yeah, exactly, and they were, and it would come on, in the same time frame. I'd like either watch that, and then my cartoons would come on, or vice versa, right? So it's like, it all kind of got and that's, in hindsight, that's like, I feel like for a large part of, say, rural America, that's how a guy like Muhammad Ali became what he was. I know he gets beaten to death, right? But there is no overstating. There's no overstating how ridiculously not just popular, but just recognized this guy was. Especially in the, like me and Jed were talking about, the 3-channel era.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like before everybody had cable and all that shit, right? It was like, still everybody knew who this guy was, right? He was, everybody. He was everybody's, not literally everybody, but just about everybody's, right? Superhero in some, shape, form, or fashion.
Yeah.
I remember who my super villain was.
Oh, okay. Who's your son? That's a good one.
My super villain, as far as boxers goes, was Larry Holmes, because
that was you know what, that it's funny you say that. Not I in hindsight, obviously I don't think it was fair, but I'm not going to say I wasn't part of it. Larry did not get the love he deserved until way later in his career.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. When he beat Mercer in the early 90s, right? I remember the fucking it was on USA, right? Larry was on his comeback trail and whatnot, and he fought Mercer. And when he beat Mercer on the USA, and the whole crowd was chanting Larry.
Because he beat Ali the way he did.
Oh yeah. People,
I could not wait till I see someone kick his ass. when I saw Tyson beat the living fucking dog fart out of him, it was such a time of vindication to watch that happen.
Dude, the gods were against Larry that night, because if you go and watch, I swear to God, this is the truth, fellas. If you go back and watch that fight, right, after the second to last knockdown, right, Larry gets up. Larry goes to throw up what would normally be a perfect uppercut, right, on Tyson as Tyson comes, boring in to finish the job, and fucking Larry gets his arm caught in the ropes. I swear to God, this happens, Spiro Jet. I swear to God.
I get you. My thing is, like, you're talking about like I said earlier, like Ali was larger than life. Ali was more than just boxing. Ali was a tour de force.
So he had his own motherfucking cartoon. He had his own cartoon. It's like, dude.
But for me, my generational boxers were Hector Macho Camacho and Tyson, and those two. It's because they were brought up very similarly to the way I was brought up, and Camacho and I actually fucking grew up basically in the same streets.
Oh wow! Okay. Oh, so what was that? Wasn't he from like? Forgive me if I'm wrong here. Wasn't he from like either New Jersey or like Queens, New York, or some shit like that?
He hung out in the Bronx, in the bad neighborhood.
Bronx. Okay, Bronx. My bad. I knew he was one from what I had a feeling he was
one of the boroughs. He was in one of the boroughs.
Yeah, one of the boroughs.
And Tyson was from Bronxville. That's not the Bronx, but.
The Brown. No, dude, check this out. You know this. The Brownville Lisp. Everybody knows about the Brownville Lisp.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
Everybody, you fucking oh god, what's his name? The goddamn 140 welterweight guy, Zab Judah. Zab Judah. If you listen to Zab Judah and you listen to Mike Tyson, they have the exact same fucking accent because they're
Yeah.
both from Brownsville. They got that Brownsville, and it's funny. You know, it's really funny in boxing circles, right? The Brownsville accent, and then there's the oh fuck, it's gonna escape me now. Fucking Kell Brook. Kell Brook's from the
Let me use the bathroom real quick. You can cut it up. I'll be right back.
Yeah, for sure.
sorry, but yeah. Kell Brook and there's the area he comes from in England has a very similar, for lack of a better term, lisping accent to the Brownsville fellas. See, that's what I'm trying to get at. Like, because if you listen to Kell Brook, Nassim Hamed, right? And I think there's a couple other guys I'm not thinking of. Hang on. Oh shit. Oh god damn it! Hang on. He fought fucking Zab Judah, got his ass whooped, but then he came back later and looked okay. I gotta look this up now. But my point being that there's an area of England that has a similar accent, right? Where they have that. They sound like Brown. Like remember fucking Kelbrook? I'm gonna get him the chocolate brownie, the chocolate brownies. The S, they list that S though. It's the same thing. Oh God, where the fuck is he from? Hang on a second, I gotta find this. Kelbrook.
Kell Brook is from Sheffield.
Sheffield, the Sheffield accent. Thank you. The Sheffield accent and the Brownsville accent. They're very similar. Very similar. The only difference, really, the biggest difference between them is the, English versus American, right? But they got that same lisping accent. Is the Sheffield and the Brownsville guys? Like I said, go listen. Not just Kelbrook. Go listen to Nassim Hamed, right, or any of the fellas from that gym, that Winkerbank gym. They had a lot of talented guys. By the way, they had a lot of talented guys. So okay, what do you reckon? What do you reckon, Puro, with regards to Fury and Usyk? Number one, do you think it happens on time, or do you think there's another excuse? And number two, how does the fight play out?
I got Fury in that one. Yeah, I just think. They're similarly skilled. I just think I think the difference in size and shit that I'm.
And I'm pretty sure I'm not trying to belabor you. I'm sure you've heard my opinion about. I think it's going to be more like Ollie versus Ernie Terrell, where the smaller, more fluid, right guy is just too quick, too fast, too quick, too what's the word? Extemporaneous. If anybody in the crowd knows that word, extemporaneous. That's a musical term, right?
Yeah, that's one I haven't heard yet, so I'm gonna have to look that one up.
Ability. I think I might be wrong, Electrojet. I think the basic definition is like ability to improvise, but I'll wait until you. I'm curious now that you mentioned. I'm curious what the actual definition is. Extemporaneous.
I really don't see the speed difference that you see.
Okay, I see. I see a big gap in the speed and foot speed department. It's not that Fury is slow, right? It's not that he's slow. It's really hard to say this in a way that is fair and doesn't diminish Fury. He is fast for his size. He is very fluid for his size. You know what I mean? All those things. He's athletic but the emphasis I want to emphasize is for his size, right? Because he's about 6'8", 6'9". And I'm going to go back to the wisdom of the elders, Piero. Okay, so and again, this is a could easily be a fault on my part. But I fall back on the wisdom of the elders, and I remember a time when Angelo Dundee, okay, in the early to mid 2000s, was getting interviewed by various YouTube boxing channels, right? And he made it clear to everyone. He said everything goes in cycles, right? And he said, I guarantee you, and he was basically hanging his hat on his eye for talent, right? He says, I guarantee you, what I consider to be the quote, he called them the pocket-sized heavyweights, okay? And what he meant by a pocket-sized heavyweight was, number one, 6'5" to 6'6". No less, no more. 210 to 225, 35 pounds, give or take. Okay, that there's a little more wiggle room with the weight, but the key is the size and, more importantly, the fluidity. And he was always like, listen, man, give me the fluid athlete and the time to train them, and I'm gonna, I'm kind of taking what he said and translating it in my own terms. But to me, what I heard is, give me an Usyk and enough time, and I will whoop all the goddamn Tyson Furies in the world. And my how to put it, my experience going back to going all the way back to, I would say, 1973. Okay, when I was about 5 years old, that's the first real fight that I really paid attention to. Muhammad Ali, Ron Lyle, right? So going all the way back to that, and all my heavyweight, and that's my main, my main shit is heavyweight boxing. I'm not that I don't know about other, but that's my, where I'm really going to dig in and how to put it, be stubborn is when it comes to heavyweight boxing, right? I'm telling you, my humble opinion, I 100% agree. Usyk is I'm going full round the mountain here, right, to where me and Electrojet were talking about. I think that Fury and AJ are both, for their time, great, but I think Usyk is special. And special talents are in the same way that I thought that Crawford was special. There we go. You and I didn't. Me and Electrojet talked about that, but you and I haven't had a chance to talk about that. I put Usyk in that same class. Yeah, within his weight class or weight range, I consider Usyk special the same way I consider Crawford special. Okay, which is why. Now, on the one hand, you might be like, well, I heard you say, I think, Cannoli knocks him out at 168. Yeah, at 168, but if they fight at, 160 or 154, right, I give Crawford increasingly better chances the lower the weight is, right? Because he's fucking special, and even at 168, even though I think he's going to get knocked out, I've told everybody, and I'm going to say it again, Terrence Crawford is going to put hands on Cannoli Alvarez. He's going to put hands on that boy. You know what I mean? He's gonna make, swell up his eye or cut him or whatever before he gets knocked out. He will get that's the problem. He'll get knocked out before in the end, right? But I'm saying, special talent. And I think Usyk is a special talent, whereas AJ and Fury are great for their time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. No, I'm not asking you to agree. I'm just.
No.
Do I make? Yeah, I make sense. Okay. What are your thoughts on all this?
I mean, yeah. I mean, if that's the way you see it, that's the way you see it. I mean, like, I mean, I mean, what makes a special fighter? To be honest, I mean, everybody has their own definition. I mean,
Fair. Yep.
I mean, it's not like Usyk has reinvented the wheel in any shape or form or fashion since he's been in the sport. To me, that's what truly defines a special fighter. But I mean, that's just the definition, you know. I mean, him beating Usyk, would that make him extra special? I mean, not really. I mean, it's not like he'd be the first cruiserweight to come up and become undisputed. You know, I mean, his skill set is nothing I've never seen before out of a fighter. That's my definition. I guess when it comes to special fighters, it all comes down to a person's definition of what a special fighter is. You know,
Right.
Like you say, that's not to take nothing away from him. I mean, it would be a major accomplishment if he did what if he were to accomplish what he's trying to accomplish.
I guess now that you've said it that way, I guess I would say, to be more, precise, I would say I would refine what I'm saying to the point of, I think Usyk is special for his generation.
All right, I'll buy that.
He's the special one, and again, I may be wrong, but we're not gonna know. I mean, we got half the story already because he beat fucking AJ twice. All right, nearly knocked him out the first time. Fucking came from behind in the last 3 rounds and fucking gassed him out in the second time. All right, beat him convincingly twice. So that's one down. Wilder's already got whooped by fucking Fury. He needs to beat Fury. That cements his specialness in my book. But I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm to an extent I it's not so much that it's a fact that Usyk is special. I'm counting on the fact that I think he's based on my prior observations of heavyweight fighters, right? And their, you know what I mean? The way they move, fluidity, two-handedness, combinations, all that. Usyk he's special. He's special. Fury is, don't get me wrong, Fury is a great talent. He is. I mean, a guy 6'9" that can move the way he does, that's great. He don't move like Usyk. And look, man, to me, at the end of the day, to me, fluidity, two-handedness, and foot speed will always trump size at heavyweight. I've seen it too many times. Not just Ollie or Ernie Terrell. I've seen all kinds of other fucking, how about Evander Holyfield, Buster Douglas, right? One-sided brutal knockout. I mean, I'm telling you, fluidity and skill will trump fucking size and brute force in this game. It will. Now, here's the key though, where it becomes not for certain at a certain point. And that, you know what I mean? That's what makes the whole thing intriguing is, at the end of the day is I want to be proven right? Just like the Fury fans, they want to be proven right. That, Usyk's too small or whatever, right?
But I mean, that's hard to beat.
Yep. But I'm saying that, that's my position. My position is I think Usyk is too special, too fluid, right? And too fast of hand and foot, right? He did too much. It's going to be too much. And, I know someone on the other channel, I gave them a reference fight. I said, go watch Ali versus Ernie Terrell. Not because Usyk is as good as Ali. That's not the point, right? This is what how I think the fight's going to play out. You get me? Usyk's not going to knock him out, but he's going to outclass him round after round after round because he's going to be too goddamn fast for every one punch fucking Fury throws. Usyk's going to be landing 2 to 3, 4. Okay? You know what I mean? It's going to be that kind of a fight. And at the same time, Usyk, to be fair, Usyk, in my humble opinion, unless the corner stops it, Usyk is not gonna, knock out Fury. That's not gonna happen. He did. Fury's just too big of a goddamn unit. You know what I mean? If Wilder couldn't knock him out, yeah.
Yeah, no.
I just. Yeah. So yeah, I see. To me, I see a talent gap. That's what I see. I see a talent gap, and I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying that's my where I'm coming from.
No, I hear you. I hear you. Yeah. That's like I was saying at the beginning. I just don't see that gap being as vast as people think.
Fair enough. I'm
not a Fury fan at all. I've been a Fury fan ever, but I mean, it is what it is. Gotta call it like I see it. But I mean, like,
right.
It doesn't. Usyk's not capable of beating him. But we're gonna see.
Well, I mean, exactly. Look, man, there was look. If I remember right, the line on Ali Terrell was pretty fucking close, right? Because look, Terrell was an accomplished heavyweight champion, right? He was talented. This is what I'm trying to say. Ernie Terrell was a perfect example, albeit in a different way, but he was, in general terms, a perfect example of what I mean when I talk about Fury. He was great for his time, right? And he beat just about everybody, but when he ran up against somebody special, right? Ali in this case, he got outclassed. And I think that's what's going to happen with Usyk and Fury. If Fury fights Usyk, it's going to become a case of, hey, this guy it's not that he ain't great, it's that this other guy is fucking special.
I hear you.
Just like I think, just in the same way, I think, I view Usyk in the same way I view Terrence Crawford when I use that word special. Terrence Crawford is special. Inouye would be another one. Inouye is special. So let's go through it. Let's see. Usyk I view as special. Crawford I view as special. I view Inouye as special. Throw some other names at me. Throw some other names or weight classes at me.
This current time?
Who?
This current time? Or
Yeah. Active fighters.
I can't give you any, man.
Well, okay. Who do you think that I have? Is there anybody that I haven't mentioned that you think might be special, in your view?
No.
So we agree that if there's any special fighters, it's them three: Inouye, Crawford, and Usyk.
I mean, I would throw Canelo in there, but
okay. No, I'm not mad at that at all. I really.
I mean, I think Canelo's already proven how special he is. I mean, Crawford. I think the jury's still out, but I mean, I wouldn't mind. I don't think anybody's crazy thinking he's special. Usyk, I wouldn't throw him in there either. But like I said, I'm not mad at it.
So
I definitely think Crawford has a bigger case than Usyk does. But
here's my argument for Crawford and Usyk. Okay, my argument for Crawford is not just the fact that he beat Spence, but the one-sided way he beat Spence. Right? That to me verifies what I thought all along, that he's special. I'm not saying that makes me right. I'm just telling you that's my reasoning, right? Mm-hmm. And with Usyk, that second win over Joshua, where he pulled away in the last 2 to 3 rounds, dude. Like I said, I remember watching it with Boxing Beats and Rhymes. And Boxing Beats and Rhymes is like, oh, this motherfucking Usyk, he just ruined my goddamn night. You know what I mean? Hey man, if that's not special, I don't know what is.
Yeah. I mean, AJ, I thought AJ did enough to win the second fight. To be honest, one of the judges, agreed, but that's not a popular opinion. But it's okay. I mean, I thought Usyk being declared the winner was a good decision. I mean, I thought AJ did enough.
I felt okay. Here's what I thought. I felt like AJ. I felt like it was neck and neck going into the last 3 rounds, and then not even so much AJ faded, but Usyk just put his like suddenly found this other gear that That's why like Beats was like, oh, this motherfucker, yeah, because he was in the same boat as me. He thought, oh shit, Usyk's gonna wear down the stretch because he's smaller.
Yeah.
Nah, bro. He suddenly comes out with all the goddamn combinations, you know what I mean, and movement and whatnot, and closes out the last three. To me, that is not just the only way, but it's an example of special. The way Terrence Crawford didn't just beat Spence, but deconstructed him. Special. The way Inouye didn't just beat, oh God, what's my man's name from Philly? The Philly fighter, come on.
Fulton?
You know, who?
Fulton? Stephen Fulton?
Yeah. He didn't just beat Fulton, deconstructed this very talented, to my eyes anyways, in the times I'd seen him, very talented, tore him apart.
Even though I think
special.
It was extremely overrated, and I expected that ass whooping. It's just like, bruh, I mean, like, one, I thought he lost to Figueroa. Figueroa, which doesn't have a very complicated style, but I still think he lost to him. Inoue and Figueroa are two different fighters. Inoue doesn't just throw, but he doesn't like because Figueroa like he tries to succumb you under like a mountain of like fucking punches and shit, and it's effective for him. Don't get me wrong. But Inoue like it's like his is more calculated. Like he's more traditional in setting up how he's going to land his combinations.
Okay, so like I would say that both Fulton and Figueroa are either I'll forget very good. I'll go ahead and even say great, right? Great for their time, but like you said, the difference with them and Inouye is special. All right, it's just like so. Let me give you some historical examples, right? Let's see here. Oh God, what's my man's name? The Mexican. He died in the car wreck at like age 24 or some shit like that.
Java, Sal Sanchez.
Who?
Sal Sanchez.
Salvador Sanchez. Yeah. Special. That guy was fucking special. You understand me? Special talent. Roberto Duran, special fucking talent. Dude, he took Marvin Hagler, all right? This guy started at 135. Took Marvin Hagler life and death. That's fucking special. Sugar Ray Leonard, Tommy Hearns, special, right? Okay? All right. So versus some examples of very good or great, right, would be like oh God, what's Wilder's trainer's name? The Mark Breland. Mark Breland was great. Mark Breland was a great amateur and a great fighter in the pros, but not special. Okay? Mark Breland, here, let me tell you how great Mark Breland was, by the way. People forget about this shit. Mark Breland appeared in 4 episodes of Miami Vice at the peak of Miami Vice's popularity. Do you understand what that means? Like, I don't know if you're familiar with. I'm not trying to be funny. I don't know. Go ahead.
The 80s.
Yeah. You at least you've heard about Miami Vice, the TV show, right?
I watch Miami Vice.
Okay, yeah. All right. Well, he appears in 4 episodes. Okay, not by accident, because he's that. He at the time he was that pumped up, right? He didn't turn out to be special, but he did. He was still, in my humble opinion, very good / great. But that's kind of my point. You get what I mean? Like, and also, yeah. And also, by the way, that's another like a one of the like giant sea changes in American boxing, right? we went from a time when a guy like Mark Breland, right, who Mark Breland was in the same Olympic class, by the way, of Sugar Ray Leonard and the Spinks brothers, right? Yeah, he won the Val Barker Trophy, but everybody talked about Sugar Ray and the Spinks brothers ahead of him. And he still ended up he was a TV star, right? You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
It's like
Doc, let me give you a scenario real quick.
Yes, sir.
In a way, he's going to fight Luis Neri coming up. Luis Neri knocked out by Brandon Figueroa to the body. Say Luis Neri ends up knocking out Inoue, which is live because Neri fucking hits hard and he's already fucking blew up the apple cart in Japan before. Would that make him less special in your eyes?
Yes, but I got to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. I am 110% confident that Inoue is going to beat the ever living shit out of fucking Neri. I really do. I really do.
As you should, and like that. That's the smart pick. That's the sexy pick. That's the easy pick.
No, you're right. No, but I at the same time, if the scenario you're talking about plays out,
yeah,
absolutely, I've got to change. I've got to alter my. I'm not irrational. I've got to rearrange my positions on things. Obviously,
like where I'm coming from, like I wouldn't think he's less special for losing that fight.
I would say okay. He would be less special than I thought he was. You get what I mean? Because right now.
What if he?
Right now, Inoue, like guys like I'll take those Inoue, Crawford, and Usyk, right? As long as they don't go too far in terms of weight. So, for example, Crawford going to 168 to fight Cannoli, in my humble opinion, too far, right? I think fight the same guy at 160 or ideally for Crawford. I'm not saying this would be the best thing from a fight ban perspective, but ideally for Crawford it would be 154. Meet in the middle would be, to me, 160. But Cannoli is not. He ain't gonna. He's already said he don't want to fight the guy, so obviously he ain't gonna. You know what I mean? He ain't gonna settle for no catch weight, right?
Yeah, no, he said that already. Yeah.
All right. So if for whatever reason that fight happens, and Crawford does what I don't think he would do and fucking wins, oh my god. Then he becomes Sugar Ray Leonard, Tommy Hearns of this generation. You get me?
Yep.
And that's why it's like, if he really wants to chase after that, I can't get mad at him, right? He wants to be great. He wants to be special,
I mean, he could have went after that when he was younger, though. He's kind of old now.
He could not. Come on, what was he gonna do? Try and drag Cannoli down to 140? What are you talking about?
Like he could have tried to made this play a lot sooner.
Play okay. Well, I mean, okay. Who would
instead of fighting Errol Spence, he could have just okay, I'm done with the Errol Spence fight. You know how we waited like 5 years for that fight? Yeah. Maybe in year 3, he's probably like, okay, fuck Spence. I want to go and try to challenge myself against Canelo. But I'm just saying. I'm just saying it's. I mean,
no, you're not. You're not wrong. That's what makes this whole,
other than age, other than size, age has to play a factor. He's 36. I mean, it's just, it's a tough task because of the guy in front of him. If this was any other.
Well, and you got but speaking of age, you got to remember. Cannoli, although Cannoli, I think, is 32, 33. He started at 15 as a pro. So you get what I mean?
Yeah. People don't realize is that when he actually became an adult, he was nowhere near the weight that Crawford is at now. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. He started. He was like 15 fighting at 147 as a pro because that's what
Exactly.
they do in Mexico. That's how. And they have what's the word? Quinceañera. Quinceañera.
Yeah, yeah.
They consider in their culture. I'm not saying it's good, bad, or indifferent. I'm just saying that the reality is they consider you. I had a Hispanic girlfriend, so I know a lot about this. They consider you an adult after 15.
Yeah. Just put it this way: when Canelo was 18 and when Crawford is 18, what weight classes were they at?
Mm.
You know,
I was okay. Okay, if I recall correctly, I think Canelo was still he was like at the tail end of 147, and I think at the same time, Crawford was at 135.
yeah. So as adults, when they first started as adults, like Crawford was 135 pounds. I mean, you just gotta like
Yep,
you put it in
yep.
perspective that way. I mean, it's just
Well, that's
it's
why I
not.
said I've always said, look, I love Crawford. My dad loves Crawford more than me, because he reminds him of Tommy Hearns. Just he looks like Tommy Hearns, and both of us were big Tommy Hearns fans, right?
Yeah.
Uh, I've always said, look, I don't think he wins, but I've always said Crawford is going to put hands on Cannoli, all right? No getting around it. He's going to put hand. If Erislandy Lara was able to put hands on him the way he did, trust me, Terrence Crawford's going to put hands on him before he gets knocked out. That's the problem, though, for me, right?
It's
Is
a big problem because Arizona Lara put those hands on him, like you said, but he still didn't win.
Well, also, well, no, more importantly, Erislandy Lara is a way bigger dude. He's a
Yeah.
way bigger dude than fucking Terrence Crawford. And
And then
and
different styles too, two different styles.
yeah, and that's the other thing. Crawford's more aggressive. Crawford's gonna, get stuck in possibly where he shouldn't.
Yeah,
Whereas
he gets
Lara was, Lara was perhaps. I honestly thought Lara won the fight 8-4, but I also understood, you know what I mean, the realities of the whole thing, right? Number one, can only being the A side, and he's got fucking the Golden Boy behind him, blah blah blah, right?
yeah.
Nonetheless, the
Oh,
only the, my in the end, my only complaint about that decision was there was that one there was a 115 113 Lara, 115 113 Cannoli, and then some asshole, right, decided to have a 118 110 or 117 111, some bullshit like that, right? That was like, and then on top of that, right, the Jim Gray goes to Cannoli and is like, okay, so you hear, because the crowd was kind of mixed reaction wise, right? And Jim Gray's like, okay, so what about a rematch for Lara here? And not so many words. Cannoli says, for what? And that's where he went from being Canelo to Cannoli for me. I'm like, motherfucker, bitch, you gonna fucking no? I'm not mad at you for getting the W, but you're not gonna give the guy a rematch. That's when he lost me as a fan. That's when he lost me. At
I
that
thought
point,
the fight. I mean, it was a close fight, but I never thought the decision was in doubt.
no. Well, my problem, you see,
It was kind of
my problem wasn't the decision. Even it was the fact that Canelo didn't just turn down the idea of a rematch. He tried to make it sound like, why would I bother? You know what I mean? It was like one of them kind of things. It's like, motherfucker, bitch. A lot of people think you got your ass whooped there. You damn, you don't come fucking talking to me about why should I fight him again, because a lot of us think you got your ass whooped. That's why you ought to fight him again. But he's Cannoli and he can do what he wants. And like I said, hey, fair enough. But that's where he lost me. That's where I started. Like I was like, where we went from Canelo to Cannoli.
I always thought that name was funny when you said it.
Again, it's not. You look, man. If we get down to brass tacks, look. Obviously, I don't want Canelo to burst into flames or anything horrible to happen to him or what I mean, or him or his family. It's not like that. You know what I mean? It's just
You're just a little sour that he never.
I just I find him very easy to root against because of the way he's conducted himself within the context of the sport, and it's not personal. It's not like I hope you burst into flames and die, right? I just exactly. It's more like team fandom thing. I'm just not rooting for that motherfucker. Okay, I'm just not rooting for that motherfucker. But yeah, I think Crawford puts hands on him, but I think Crawford eventually gets clipped, unless they fight at a weight below 168. I just don't see. I mean, like I said, I might be a victim of the past, right? It could be. I might be a victim of history, but I just can't see how he wins when I've already seen this, in my humble opinion, before when Tommy Hearns fought Iran Barkley, right? A much more crude but much nationally heavier guy at the weight, and and it was the same thing. Tommy Hearns lit him up like a goddamn Times Square Christmas tree right up until he got clipped.
Yeah.
And I think that's the same thing. If they fight at 168, that's the same thing that happens to Crawford, unfortunately, in my opinion. Even though I think Crawford is pound for pound a better talent than Cannoli, we're not talking about that. We're talking about who do I think wins.
Yeah.
Right.
He doesn't have the defense of an Iran Barkley, bro. I mean, it's going to be a lot tougher to put them hands on there.
Well, that's the thing. I am confident that Crawford's going to hit him. You know what I mean? Crawford's going to leave marks on the guy. Even
Crawford's good enough to give him a good fight. I mean, but it's just like.
Well, I mean, if any of us, I don't know about you, but if you've ever been in a fucking random fist fight with like a smaller, quicker dude, right? I think you know what I'm talking about, right? You know what I mean? Oh shit, they're smaller, quicker, and you know what I mean. They hit you, right?
Yeah,
Until you fucking get your fucking goddamn hands on them and fucking shut that shit down. Granted, that's in a random bar party, contact. But you get my point nonetheless. It's a similar concept. I think Terrence he's gonna hit Cannoli a bunch for about 6 to 8 rounds, and then Cannoli's eventually gonna time his ass. At 168. If they fight at 160, 154, I will reassess. But I just don't see how in the nine hells Crawford could ever, persuade Cannoli to fight below 168 when he doesn't have to, because Cannoli has all the flex. Am I wrong?
But it also diminishes Crawford's win, because then it takes away like all the reasons that he wants to fight Canelo in the first place.
So you see what I mean? That's what I'm saying. So okay, even better. So it's like Crawford being the competitive motherfucker that he is, he's not. He ain't gonna want a catchweight, is he? Right? Is I think what I'm hearing.
He would mind a catchweight because I think he just wants the name on his record. But at the end of the day, he said that the only reason he would he's entertaining a Canelo fight is to become undisputed champion at a different weight class.
Well, that would mean one fight. That would mean fighting him at 168, wouldn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So at the end of the day, a catchweight I don't think would fly in this situation because it goes against what he wants to fight this guy for.
Fuck, you know what I mean? It's like, I can't help but, as much as I don't think he's gonna win, I can't help but love Terrence for that kind of shit,
Yeah, but I mean,
if he does it, to be fair,
far, but he could get the same effect if he just goes up to 154, 160 and cleans that division out, which I think he's more than capable of doing.
Well,
You know,
okay. Well, hang on. So what about? Okay, here's one for you. Oh, goddamn! I gotta get it. Hang on. I gotta freshen up my drink one second here, Prero, because I just thought of something. So check this out.
he could have done that against Jamal.
One
But
fifty four.
he also wants the money that Canelo brings. So this is like a half cash grab, a half legacy fight for him. He wants it both.
That's the thing. It's like, dude, if you fight, there's no bigger money fight than Canoli, right?
Yeah.
At that weight, huh?
So I mean, it's really up to him. It's like, it's okay. Do you want to sell your O and like possibly by the grace of God pull out a win? Okay, that's fine. Whatever. I mean, it's his own man.
Well, that's the thing. Well, the problem is like, seriously, and I'm not even trying to diss Canoli by saying this. How do you convince Canoli to come down below 168? I mean, you can't. You can't. He's got all the leverage in the world, right?
Then it's not even about leverage. You just can't lift those weights anymore.
Right. Well, that too. Well, maybe that too. I think he could. I think he could make 160 just fine. I don't. Maybe 154, fair enough. But I think he could make middleweight just fine if he wanted to. If he wanted to, that's the. And more importantly, if the market forced him to. You get me? The market, because of who he is, and I'm not knocking him for that. He worked for it. He don't have to do that shit. Yeah. So.
I mean, that's the thing.
Yeah. So I mean, okay. I'll look at it this way: if Terrence were to win at 168, right? Even if it's points, oh my fucking god, That to me, anyways, because already I thought he was. I already think of him as a special talent, right? Only then do we start talking about Terrence Crawford, in my mind, anyways, in a historical pantheon context, right?
I
Like,
hear you.
okay, yeah, like okay, then we start talking about, okay, how does he relate to Tommy and Ray and you know what I mean and Benitez and so on, right? Only then. Up to now, it's not that he's not a. I see the ability, right? He don't have the bodies. He do, like, dude. Tommy Hearns had almost 100 fights. Roberto Duran had over 100 fights. Okay,
Exactly.
all right.
Time.
Yeah, exactly. Marvin Hagler retired at I think 70 something fights. Sugar Ray Leonard was considered. Forgive my terminology here, fellas. We were Hearns fans because Sugar Ray Leonard, we thought of him as a fucking sissy, if you remember that word. Not because he wasn't talented, but because we felt like he was kind of handed things, right? That was the impression you got from the media, right?
Yeah, really. No, Tommy Hearns.
So when he fought Tommy Hearns, me and the old man and my grandpa, we were all rooting for Tommy Hearns. And when Davey Pearl waved the fight off, we all threw our goddamn. We had do you remember oh God, what's the name of it? Hang on. It's like you play this game with dice and a dice pad or a sketch pad.
Dominoes.
Not dominoes. Hang on.
Yahtzee.
Yahtzee pads. There we go. Yahtzee. We were sitting there with the Yahtzee pads because my grandfather, he was always into old school baseball, and he would listen on the radio and fill out these super elaborate scorecards. Me and my dad were like, okay, fuck that. But boxing was the one thing where we were like, oh, okay. He could kind of explain to us how scoring a round worked, right? And we at the same time were interested in the sport, and we were all rooting for Tommy Hearns to beat Sugar Ray Leonard. And when the fight got stopped, all three of us took our Yahtzee pads and chucked them at the goddamn ground in goddamn disgust. And obviously we all had Tommy ahead. Not saying that's right. I'm just saying, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
That was, that was our. If you can even call it haterade. That was our haterade. You know, we were like, because Tommy Hearns was, the poor kid from bad, from the rough background and everything that we could relate to. Where Sugar Ray Leonard was, the guy with the silver spoon. I'm not saying that's fair. I'm just saying, you know what I mean. That was the perception.
Yeah, it existed all throughout sports, man. Hey, Mr. Doc, thank you for having me, bro. But I got to split, brother. I'll catch you on the next one.
No problem. And I think Boxing Lounge is here, so I'll see if he wants to jump on. Fair
Let's go,
enough.
brother.
Thank you, Piero, for hanging as long as you did. You know what I mean? I really do appreciate it. I really do appreciate it.
Anytime, brother. Thank you for having me. Peace.
Awesome, awesome. You take care, bud. Yo, Boxing Lounge, you there? Boxing Lounge, jump on, bud.
So, God,
You there?
yeah, what's up, man?
What's up? What's up? What's up?
What's up, Doc?
I'm just trying to figure this shit out. So where are you at with this whole heavyweight scene?
I ain't nowhere with it.
It's kind of fucked up, isn't it?
I'm just watching some because this is all we got. Just like, I mean, it's nothing that we watching back in the day. It ain't no, yeah, ain't no Ali's, ain't no motherfucking Lennox Lewis, ain't no Vander, ain't no Tyson, ain't no. I mean, this shit is what it is. No Riddick Bowe, no. I mean, it ain't.
I think the only special guy, to put it in simple terms, right? This is also me over the course of the previous couple hours talking to other people. In my humble opinion, the only guy potentially what I would call special, right? And to be clear, special is like to me a tier above. It's above good and even great. Okay, because you can be good or even great in your own time. Okay, but a special talent is the kind of talent that can, you know what I mean? We can move him around in most any kind of time periods, and he's going to be successful. To me, to
You gonna
me,
say you gonna say Usyk?
you damn right. Usyk to me is the only one that's special. I think Fury and AJ are great for their time, but I don't think they're special. I really don't. I really don't. And I honestly, I think
I
this
think
may
Fury
sound.
beats. I think Fury beats Usyk,
You think
man.
Fury beat? You
Regardless
think?
of what
Oh,
people
okay,
say,
okay. No, I
I
like that.
do.
Oh, okay, no,
I
no, no.
do.
That's good. That's good because I respect your opinion. I think Usyk tears Fury apart.
Nah, I can't see
No,
that.
no,
I can't see
and
that.
I'll even give you now. I want to when I say this, when I mention this fight, I don't want you to take it like ability for ability per se. I'm saying relative to each other, and also how I think the fight plays out. Right?
Yeah,
Here's what I see happening if the Usyk Fury fight finally comes through. I think it looks like Ollie Ernie Terrell. What's my name? I think Usyk lights him up like a Times Square Christmas tree, and I
nah,
don't think
you know what
Fury
I think?
for. Go ahead.
Nah, you know what I think? Well, when it comes to a lot of people with Tyson Fury, I think not saying that they don't believe it, not talking about you, but most people that they just don't. I think a lot of times the way they see the fight is the way they want to see the fight because how much hate they have for Fury. But I don't believe in their mind they really think the fight's gonna go the way they think Usyk's gonna do Fury because I don't see it happening. I just don't.
I will promise you one thing. I do not hate Tyson Fury, and like I said, I honestly think if I'm you put me you put me to the task, right? In terms
Yeah,
of give me an honest opinion kind of thing.
yeah,
I think Tyson Fury for this time period is great. I think there's two greats: Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua. Okay, I think Wilder he's in the Hall of Very Good. The only guy I see as potentially special, and I might be biased. I might be biased based on the kind of heavyweights I grew up with. Okay, and also, I'm not gonna lie. I've got in my. It might still be on YouTube, but in my files, I have an interview with Angelo Dundee, right, where he talks about how everything in not just boxing but sports goes in cycles, right, and so on, and he is adamant that what he calls them the pocket size heavyweight, and what he means is 6'3" to 6'5", 210 to 235 pounds, right? And the reason he specifies that way is because, based on his opinion and experience, that's where you maximize the combination of ability to, say hit, right, with force, combined with fluidity and athleticism, you get me?
Yeah.
And everything. I keep telling everybody, like, look, Fury for a 6'9" guy is amazingly athletic. Yeah, he is for a
He is.
6 foot for a 6'9" guy. Put him in the ring with, my humble opinion, you put him in the ring with Usyk, and suddenly he is going to look like a lumbering lummox, like Dwyer likes to say.
I mean, I can see the angles and everything. I can see a lot of shit could give Tyson Fury problems by the way Usyk's style is. But then I can see certain aspects of the fight where Tyson Fury's going to have the advantage.
Fury to me, to win, Fury to me, my humble opinion, only way he beats Usyk is if he mauls and brawls him.
He's gonna maul him and bully him, and
that's okay. We're on the same page then, because I was arguing with the fellas earlier, and some of them were of the opinion that like, oh no, Usyk needs to box. I'm like, dude, if Usyk tries to box, if Fury tries to box, he's gonna get his ass whooped. Not knocked out, but he's going to get his ass whooped because he's not quick enough. He's not, you know what I mean? He's not quick enough, fluid enough, any of that enough to keep up with Usyk in that context. It's not that Fury isn't quick for his size, right? He just ain't. He don't have the speed and fluidity of Usyk. That's just my humble opinion, especially after the ancient fights.
And I can see where you say that. When you said, and then let me say when you said who's greatness here. Now, me personally, I just got to be honest. To me, I mean, and I don't know where you think that at, because I know your boxing knowledge. You got a lot of good boxing. I don't think Anthony Joshua, hell no, is not great. You're a good fighter.
Very good. Would you at least say very good?
Yeah, but great. But
great. No. Hang on. For only, we're talking only in the context of his era. Not.
I know what you're getting with, but I don't even think he's like Doc. And I like Joshua, but I just don't think he's great. I wouldn't say great even for this. I just because if you put Tyson Fury against Joshua, he does them to me. He's gonna do them. You know
well, here's the thing. Now, this is where people get tripped out with me, right? But I think you'll be able to follow me.
Yeah.
If I had to guess, and I want to emphasize the word guess.
Yeah.
I think Usyk. If we're playing like rock paper scissors, I think Usyk 9 times out of 10 trumps Fury, right?
Yeah.
However, I also think about 7 to 8 times out of 10. Sorry, Beats. I love you, bro. I think Fury beats AJ. Okay?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's one of them circle of things. It's one of them, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a rock, paper, scissors. It's a rock, paper, scissors kind of deal.
Every style and every fighter is different, so yeah.
I think the guy now here's the fucked up thing. You're gonna think I'm really fucked up, right? So Usyk's already fought AJ twice. The second one was close, but sorry, but you know what I mean. You lost twice. Here's the fuck thing. You tell me what you think of this. I actually think Wilder has a better chance than Fury against Usyk. Now, granted, assuming Wilder's not shot. Well, big asterisk, right? Obviously,
I can maybe see.
Assuming he's not shot. Assuming he's not shot. That's a big.
I'm seeing where you're going with this because of the style and because Wilder sits on his punches. You know what I mean? I can see where you're going with this.
Yeah. It would be Usyk will slap him around for 8-10 rounds, and then.
And then when that punch land, and then when that motherfucker lands,
exactly.
It's just like this with me. It's like we know that damn near every boxer in the heavyweight division got more skills than Wilder. But it's just the same thing I said.
It's
If
that one
Wilder,
point. He's
hold on,
exactly.
let me say this:
He's
if Wilder and AJ fight, I got Wilder knocking out AJ, but AJ
look,
got way
bro.
more skills than him. It's just that damn punch.
Yeah, see, I no, this is something that I've gotten into trouble, and this is, you know me, I'm an old school kind of guy, right? I've gotten
Yep.
into trouble by making this. I thought what I thought was a very, thought out comparison. I've always said Wilder, relative to his contemporaries, meaning in his own time, right?
Yeah.
He's the Ernie Shavers. Now, if you know anything about 70s, early 80s heavyweights, you
Yeah.
know that Ernie Shavers, not the most skilled motherfucker, but he had that trump card.
Yeah, he did. He did.
And if he hit you with that trump card, either you, like motherfucking Larry Holmes, my man Larry fucking Holmes, right? Got hit with that trump card, went vertical, like horizontal rather, in the air, and then hit the ground. That's how hard Ernie hit him.
Yeah.
You got to be that kind of a G. You got to be to get up from that and outdo him, right? But to me, see, people are, how dare you compare him to Ernie? No, I'm not.
You're not comparing him. I know what you're doing.
I'm saying relative to his contemporaries. He's the guy with that, not the most skilled guy, right? Or anything like that, but you let him hit you with that right hand and see what happens. Yeah? That's to me. So to me, amongst his contemporaries,
Yeah.
he's the relative Ernie Shavers, if that makes sense.
I got
Right?
you. Yeah.
Usyk, I'd probably say is like the Larry Holmes. Yeah.
Doc, I didn't know you had a panel. Is this live?
Oh, do we got more people here? Yeah, we're live. Yeah, we're live, bro.
Oh, no, I didn't know. How you
No, I'm just now. I'm learning and working it out as we go along. To be fair, I'm not. I'm no expert here. Okay. In fact, I appreciate you jumping on like you did.
Yeah, man. I'll probably be on just for a little bit. I gotta wake up tomorrow. I gotta see my homeboy. Gotta go to his funeral, man. Another one.
Oh, you gotta. Oh shit.
And one that I grew up with, like when I was young, my boy Rube. But
man, no, I feel you. I feel you, man. I've been, dude. I've
this
had
shit
about.
Don't stop, man. I don't even like going to this shit, but I gotta show up because I'm ripped. But I hate
the
it,
most
bro.
fucked up. It's like the most fucked up shit. Like, okay,
This shit don't stop, bro.
no, yeah, no. You hit once you hit them 40s, man. It's like, man, people start dropping like flies. I mean, like
I've lost all of them. I've lost all, bro. Like the last 2 years, like 4 of them, bro. For like the circle, it just.
Oh, dude, no, dude, my friends, all the people I grew up with are, and I grew up in this like Grizzly Adams, you know what I mean, tiny town with lots of fucking woods and shit. Nonetheless,
Yeah.
almost all the people I grew up with are, or actually all the people I grew up with are in one of 3 positions: dead, prison, or disabled.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck, dude. What the fuck? What the fuck happened to our little? It's like that Offspring sound. What the fuck happened to our little? Our little neck of the woods. What the fuck happened here? How did everybody end up? You know what I mean? Fucked up. Right? You know what I mean? I know I'm old enough to know it's naive to get upset that way, but yeah. When you grow up in the kind of environment I did, you can't help it. You know what I mean? It's like I grew up with, like, check this out. This will give you an idea, T1. From kindergarten to 6th grade, right?
Yeah.
We had a class size of about 20 fucking kids. Think about that.
Yeah.
Think about that. Think about that. Like there's no such thing anymore. That don't exist anymore. You get me?
It don't. It
It don't
don't.
exist no more. It's like, oh, holy shit. You know what I mean? So you had this kind of, for lack of a better term, you had this sort of intimate, you know what I mean, relationship with these other, small group of kids that
Yeah.
is no longer relevant to our world. It's like fuck, dude, and like I said, everybody, the only one that fucking I can off the top of my head think of that didn't end up a fuck up, right? Was this girl, Michelle Reichert, and she was adopted by the local fucking county sheriff.
Yeah.
All right, I mean, it's like everybody else, in hindsight, after time, everybody else ended up fucked up in some kind of way or another. It's like, holy shit, out of 20 kids, all of us, or 19 out of 20, you know what I mean? It's like, you get old, as you get older, you get more and more alarmed by this kind of thing, you know what I mean? Especially when you you'll like this one too. I'm just waiting for the day, right? I'm just waiting for the day when the ex-wife knocks on my door and is like, "Meet your fucking kid." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean that's only half jokes. But you get what I'm saying, right? It's like, fuck,
Yeah.
dude.
This
The
shit that's
world's
going on. This
Yeah,
shit
the world's so fucked up. The
is
world's so
depressing. It's just, bro, you just don't know, man, when it's your time. That's why I say, man, you get on this internet, like, it's cool to fuck around here and there, but a lot of this shit just be toxic, bro. These people are
well.
toxic.
That here's something I learned from my old man, right? And one of the reasons I was kind of absent for a long time, he has this saying he got from oh God, what's his name? One of his Waylon Jennings. Okay, there we go. One of it. I'm not a big country music fan, but that's one of his guys, right? Music wise,
Yeah,
you never know when this time is going to be the last time, right?
exactly.
And so it's like the last since I would say Thanksgiving, I've kind of hunkered down and just whatever time I had spare, I spared it with the old man, and you know what I mean. Just because like you say, you never know when this time's gonna be the last time. You never know when this time's gonna be the last time, man. You know what I
Uh,
mean? And I hate to get sentimental, but me and the old man, we've come a long way. Like from there was a long period. I was a high school dropout, got a GED at age 15. You know what I mean? All that shit. So
yeah,
not a big fan. Not a big fan of the parents for a long time. But you know what I mean? We came full circle, me and my dad at least. And you know what I mean? We're cool now, you know?
yeah,
And that's not, I don't take that lightly, because you know what I mean. There's so many people I know in my own personal life, even right, where they're never gonna have any kind of relationship with their fathers. So it's
uh,
you gotta
definitely.
you.
I know
Sorry,
all about. I know all about that, bro.
and I if that's a personal experience, I really do feel you know what I mean, sincerely bad about that. Uh,
What can you do about it, dog? I mean,
right.
people. I mean, everybody.
All I can do, right, is appreciate the fact that me and my old man can at least have,
Exactly.
basic conversations. You know what I mean? And hey, you want to come over for the bowl game or the Super Bowl or whatever the fuck, right? We, after me and him went about 10, 15 years without speaking a word to each other, right? And you and I, you could probably guess, if you don't know already, the statistics on most often, right? That relationship don't get healed. So you get what I mean? Like me and my dad, I feel like both are appreciative of the fact that, like, oh, okay, we've gotten a second chance where normally you don't get one, right?
Yeah.
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 Eh,
I just don't know. I mean, with my situation, and probably a lot of people's like, how can you
oh,
expect the situation to get healed when a motherfucker don't
want to even engage? They don't want to be
even
in.
engage and even engage in the fight?
Right, right.
In the conversation, and you know what I mean.
Dude, I'm not
You would
gonna.
think
I'm,
somebody would want to make it right, but I guess they don't, bro. I guess it's hard. I don't know, bro.
that's this is part of my like constant anxiety with my ex-wife is I know that I was diligent when it came to fucking birth control and all that shit, but of course, right? We you never know, right? You never know. And this, I'm just gonna say, this bitch likes to hang this shit over my head. Oh, you might have a fucking fucking kid out here or whatever the fuck, and it's like I just keep waiting for the day. Okay, you're gonna show up at my door, right? And the kid's gonna be however old, and blah blah blah. And it's like, okay, what do we really think this is gonna be productive here? No, no, no. We all know, we both know, you and I, at least I think, this is a most likely gonna be a fucking no, I'm not even gonna say just her. Both of us being petulant. You know what I mean? To each
Mm-hmm.
other. And the poor kid gets caught in the middle. Right?
Mm-hmm.
See? And it's like, fuck, dude. Fuck. And and it's not just me, because okay, I'm the oldest kid of three, right? So all right, cool. Maybe I've managed, first of all, I used condoms and birth control diligently. All right? I don't know. I don't know what the fuck everybody else has against them things. No offense, but like
Yeah.
seriously, everybody, 99.99999% of the people that I've ever met that go, "Oh God, yeah, we didn't plan on it, but the kid just happened." Motherfucker, you fucking you skipped a day on the birth control, or you didn't wear the condom, or both. You know what I mean? It's always always always. Okay, always one of them things, right? It's when they tell you that birth control and or contraceptives only work whatever percentage of the time. You know what they're you know what they're figuring in there? They're figuring in the fact that you might not use that shit.
Yeah.
You get me?
Exactly.
Thank you for being
Yeah.
honest, Ty. Thank you. All right, thank you.
Yeah. That's
I'm not
true.
trying to.
That's
I'm not
true.
trying to hurt people. I'm not trying to hurt people by saying that. I'm just, you know what I mean. I'm just saying, like, bro, you know. I'm sorry, but maybe I'm being pessimistic, Kiwa. You tell me what you think.
Nah.
Anytime I hear someone say, "Oh, we had the contraceptive or whatever the fuck and it didn't work," no, 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 no. You didn't use that shit. Okay, one of them
Yeah.
time you either skipped a dose or you didn't put the condom on. You get me?
Yeah.
Nah, you know what I mean? Like I said, 99.999% of the times where the quote unquote accident kid happens, it's not an accident. It's you were lazy.
True.
And hey, sex is cool. I'm not mad. I understand how it happens. I'm not even, you know what I mean, trying to be judgmental, right? I
Yeah.
get it. It's just like, let's be honest about how this shit works, is all, right?
Exactly.
Right, right. It's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Oh
Life,
my God. I
life a
mean,
motherfucker. Life's a
dude,
motherfucker, boy.
dude, I was married. You probably know the from a guy's perspective the term out kicking your coverage, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because of the fact that I knew how to play guitar and was a musician and all this shit. Okay, I managed to get myself in with this beautiful Belizean girl, right? Belize, Central America.
Yeah. Belize.
Yep, and outkicked the, I mean, dude, outkicked the shit out of my girlfriend. to
Yeah.
the point, to the point where it may have, to a fault maybe even, right? But you know what I mean? It's like, but here's my big point, right? I was incredibly diligent because of what I'd been through and because what she'd been through, because she was adopted. She got adopted at age 5 from Belize into America, right? And I'm not going to go into details. Neither one of us had, super pleasant childhoods. So we were both very, very cautious about bringing another life into the world, right?
Yep.
So, my point being, we fucked all the goddamn time, all right? And managed to not bring a child into this world that, wasn't prepared for or anything like that, right? So, neither one of us has very much, if any, sympathy for individuals that are like, oh, the condom broke, or oh, we, you know what I mean? No, it didn't, motherfucker. We know better, TY. We know better. and it's not even hate. You know what I mean? It's like, what are you gonna do? Of course, somebody's got to have kids, right? To continue the species. So you can't get mad at that.
How many kids you got, Doc?
None. Oh, okay, no.
I figured you didn't, bro. The way
Time out. Legally speaking,
none, like me, yeah. Until somebody shows up at the door.
Yeah. That's
But
what
I
I'm
had a
waiting for.
couple tell me they abortioned it, so you know what I mean. And I find out that some females never even told me because their homegirl told my homeboy. So
She
yeah, that's
keeps
how these
threatening me.
bitches are.
I'm
That's how
not
these
gonna.
bitches are.
Elizabeth keeps threatening me with the you have a daughter shit, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, but okay, bring her to my house.
bring her to my house.
Yep, let's fight as harsh and horrible as it's gonna be. Let's shake this shit out, right? Well, it's like fuck. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Like, I mean, am I? It's an honest question now, because I respect you, Ty. Like, I mean, look, man. If she doesn't come to me with the kid, right? What am I supposed to fucking go out of my way to take responsibility for a kid that might not be mine?
Exactly.
All right, and here's another thing, right? Here's where shit went now. And I'm not gonna say that. I'm not saying that my position that I took was perfect, but where things went really completely finally south with me and the old lady, right, was she got pregnant, right? I had been diligent about my fucking protection. I said, okay, no problem. Here's the deal. You got two eyed, and again, I was young and a bit of an idiot. I said, you got two options, right? You can either go ahead and follow through, right? And I'm going to demand and pay for a goddamn, what do you call it? To prove that you're the father or not. What's it called? You know what I'm talking about, though, right?
DNA test, yeah.
Paternity. There we go. Paternity. I was like, okay, look, I will fucking, you know what I mean? I will be here. Put the fucking hot water bottle on your belly. You know what I mean? Everything. But at the end of the day, there's going to be a goddamn paternity test because I wasn't going to be fucking done like that, right, TY? I wasn't going to be done like that.
Yep.
Right? All right. She decided to have an abortion. Now, in hindsight, oh, wow, that's a fucked up deal, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
You don't complicate it. Like, fuck. Because being an idiot in my 20s, I'm like, she's just going to do what's logical. No, that's not what women do. Especially not pregnant women. They don't do logical things. I mean, right? You only know this after the fact, right? I'd like to. Hopefully, I'm not the only one that, anyways, learns this after the fact. I mean, is that your? Go ahead.
You not. I've had I've had some tell me they abortion this and that. Like if I don't know something's out there, I can't do nothing. Like it's all on them, man, because it wasn't on me. It's not like I know I got kids out here until
Well,
somebody
and
tells me.
again, I told it's like I know it's fucked up, but at the same time, I did say, hey, paternity test. If it's my kid, I'm there,
Yeah, me too.
right?
Yeah, everything. But nothing's been brought up. So, and a lot of them abortion didn't tell me later, oh, I did this. They just saw a
Right.
motherfucker. So there's no telling. I mean, that's on them. They're the ones that know if they pregnant. We not having a baby. So if it was like that, then I'd have to tell her, which I would. So
Right.
it's these sorry motherfuckers. So if there's something out there, it's not because I know. It's because
Right,
I
and
don't know. I don't
not to
know. I
mention,
don't
not to
know.
mention, yeah, and not to mention Ty, especially, in my case, I made a point, right? Because we moved from Tacoma down to Reno in Nevada, right? And I can get that's a whole side story about fucking fucking biker gangs, drug muling. I mean, if you're into them kind of things, see why I'm perfectly happy to talk about my point that before we get to that, right? My thing was like, okay, look, all she had to do was I was like, again, admittedly a bit naive thinking. I was like, okay, I'll put her to the task and say, okay, we're going to have a paternity test, right? And I'm thinking, well, if she's confident that, it's my kid, she's going to go ahead and go through with it, right?
Yep.
It's not, in hindsight, after, dealing with not just, females of my own age, but having a younger sister and nieces and all that nonsense, you start to learn it's way more complicated. I mean, not saying I did anything wrong. I'm just saying it ends. You know what I mean? The whole picture's when you see both sides of it. It's always way more complicated.
Yeah.
Now, generally speaking, to be fair, this is just my opinion. I'm gonna say 60% of the time, right? At least.
Yeah.
Men. When I say see, I'm talking about all fucking childbirths of any kind across in America, in North America, the United States of America. How about that, right? I'm going to tell you right now, 60% of them, the father is not actually the father.
Yeah.
Not because females are, inherently evil or we're inherently what. None of that. It's just because that's shithead human behavior. Right? You get what I mean? I'm not trying to there's no sides to take here, right? What do you want her to do? What do you want a pregnant woman to do? Not have a goddamn partner, right?
Exactly.
I mean, it's like, fuck, dude, right? No, that's not realistic, is it, right?
And most of these daddies ain't doing nothing for their kids.
Right. And so she got to convince somebody that he's the daddy, right? To get him to commit, so.
Exactly.
It's a fucked up goddamn circle of fucked upness.
I think we all know some people that these females don't believe if it's our homeboys or anything that they got these dudes believing that's their baby, and some of them.
Dude, my old man.
Some of them ain't never took a test.
Yep. I was gonna say, check this out. You'll love this. My old man straight up told me when I was about 12 years old, right?
Yeah.
He says he kind of because I was starting to ask questions about certain things. We'll just put it that way. And he says, "Look, son, 90% of us." And when he said 90%, he meant males. And I'm not saying this is right. I'm just saying this should be an insight into the whole picture, right? He's like, most of us don't know who our actual dads are, because my dad was the youngest of 6 kids. Right? and my grandfather was out in World War II in fucking the Pacific Theater when my grandmother had my fucking dad. You get me?
Yeah.
Most of us, he said, don't know who our actual fathers are, but that's just the way. He would try to brush it off, like, yeah, that's just the way it works. Dude, that's the way that, and for me, it was like, holy shit, this is how my not just my parents, but my grandparents and great, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Our lives are that fucked up, Ty. They might be. I think they might be. What do you think? What do you think?
I think I don't know, man. I've just been thinking about it a lot lately. Just man.
You know, I mean, to be fair, it doesn't change. You know, in actuality, him and my dad kind of, you know, for lack of a better term, coming clean the way he did, I actually kind of helped things.
Yeah.
You know, because me and him didn't talk for about 10 years, right? And then, you know, we kind of came back together and, you know, started putting shit together. And it was like, oh, okay. You know, there was a lot of, like, on both our parts, like, mea culpa was like, he was like, yeah, I could have probably been a little more selective, you know, with my female companions. And I was like, yeah, I probably could have been a little more, you know, helpful when it came to school, you know what I mean?
Yep.
You know, but at the end of the day, it's the most important thing is that, you know, like my therapist, forgive me, but my therapist like mentioned to me, she's like, hey, look, you and your dad didn't talk for 10 years. More often than not, that 10 years leads to an indefinite number of years. So the fact that you and your dad talk at all, you need to take that as a, you know, she kind of, you know, enforced upon me that I needed to take that as a positive, right?
Mm,
Does that make sense?
yep.
What do you think?
It makes sense.
Yeah. So, you know, even though we don't, you know, always see things the same way, we're able to, it's interesting, we're able to talk in a sort of neutral way, right? That like didn't exist when I was a kid, if that makes sense. Because, you know, when I was a kid, it was more like, bitch, do what I tell you or I'm going to smack the shit out of you.
Yeah.
I don't know if you grew up in that, you know, how old you are, or what kind of household you grew up in, but there wasn't a lot of wiggle room in my household.
Sometimes I wish I could go back as a kid. Sometimes it wasn't just happy at, but one thing about you a kid, you don't have no worries.
Right.
When you go through the shit we going through, the older
Dude, you want to know what my biggest worry as a kid is like 8 to 15, my biggest worries were like, okay, how am I going to go about sneaking out the dirt bike, and how am I going to make sure that it's got the same amount of gas in it when I put it back? Because you know, here's what was maybe you might say cool about my old man, right? And me and him have talked about this. He knew, right? He knew when I took the dirt bikes out, but if everything was, you know, the way he left it, and more importantly, the amount of gas in the gas tank of the dirt bike was the same, I never heard a goddamn thing. And I, being an idiot kid, worked under the assumption that, oh, I had, you know, put one over on him. It turned out my old man was just like, nah, okay, it was like a responsibility test.
Yeah.
Okay, it was number one, you put it back like you found it. Number two, it's got the same amount of gas in it that you left it with, right? Well, that was I was only thinking in terms of not getting in trouble. You see me, right? It was only later when, you know, I got older and him and I would talk about it that I realized, oh, you know, he could actually, you know, in his own fucked up way, he was instilling a you know what I mean, a responsibility in me.
Yeah. Here go a
By me.
question. Here go a question, Mr. Doc and Ty, my boy Paz. Would y'all ever be willing to be a stepfather, or do you only date women without children or older children? I'll answer that.
Oh, do it. Hey, what do you?
I'll
Hey, oh,
answer
here
mine.
we post. I'll put. I'll.
Uh,
You go first, and then I'll go next.
Me personally, Paz, if I meet a good woman and she got kids, whatever the situation may be, depending on how many sometimes, or if she just a real woman, because it's hard to find that out here. So if she had kids and I fuck with the kids, well, if I she the kids come with her, so
Mm.
yeah, I would. You know what I mean? Because I'm a real person, and that might be meant for me. You know, God might have that already planned. Because at the end of the day, it's still a plan with all of our lives. So, of course, man, I would. Now, back then, and I've always said I never wanted to mess with no women that had kids because I always wanted my own. I always wanted my own. You know what
We
I
all do.
mean?
We all do. We all do.
Yeah,
Right? Going back.
yeah,
Going back even to my initial, thing about the, paternity test. Right? We all. That's like, if we're being honest, right? All of us dudes, right? It's always about, okay, is that our kid? Right? Am I wrong? I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
I'm not saying. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that's a virtuous thing. I'm just saying that's a reality. You know.
yeah. And you
So.
got to look at it. Most of these people that got kids, and most of them that are single mothers with kids, you
Mhm.
already know probably 9 times out of 10, while they're not with the baby daddy, most of them ain't doing nothing anyways. So
Yeah.
that's where you come in at, bro, because you're probably the only last piece that can probably give this kid anything. So that's why it works out the way it works out with people.
That's where I think the real
The
rubber
real
meets the
shit
road
is because
is
there's a
like,
difference
okay.
between a father and a sperm donor. Just because you
Well, yeah,
just
because
yeah.
that's the thing. It's to me, it's how involved or not involved, right? Is the biological father? Because look, man, maybe I don't give a fuck who calls me a pussy or whatever. If the biological father is highly, engaged and interested in the whole affair, I'm not going to step on his toes. That's that because I would be fucking, ready to put a bullet in someone if they stepped on my toes in the same context, right?
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, that's step one. It's like, okay, does does the biological father give a shit? Let's make it real simple, right? Does the biological father give a shit, right? If he don't give a shit, well, okay, then I completely get what you're saying. Where I feel it gets complicated is if the biological father is like, wait a minute, he's in some kind of whatever kind of struggle with the mom. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Then it's like, as a man, I just my feelings on it. I'm like, hey, time to fall back and let them two adults. You know what I mean? Sort of that because it don't involve you. It ain't your kid, right? Number one, the father ain't just turning his back. Number two, as complicated and fucked up as it might be, you kind of have to let them. You know what I mean? Again, I'm just kind of thinking out loud.
If you look around out here, most of these people that are together and the women that got kids, the dudes that are the real fathers are the ones that ain't the biological fathers. So
Right. Oh, yeah. That's a lot of
that's just
biological.
how it
A
is,
lot. A
man. Yeah.
lot. Look, man. When I moved to Reno, I figured this out. A lot of biological fathers are fucking in prison.
Yeah.
So I'm not even forget race, creed, or color. I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying a lot of biological fathers. Right. Let's just say if we're gonna use any kind of umbrella, let's just say from lower middle class or lower, you know what I mean, economically speaking, class, backgrounds, right? More often than not, the father ends up in prison. And make of that what you will, right? But to me, it speaks of desperation because look, man, if I ever found out, that there's a kid out there that might be my biological responsibility, I'm gonna be like, oh fuck, right? Ready to you literally or metaphorically, you're gonna take whatever kind of bullet you got to for that individual. Yes.
Mhm.
So there you go.
Yep.
Like I said, a
At the same
lot.
time, I think about it, it could be fun, but at the second time, I'd probably be like, man, I don't know the first thing about being a father, man. But females tell me all the time, even though my life has been what it is, they be like, boy, you'll be a good father. I'll be like, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
You know what I'm
look,
saying? I'm
look, look.
like, yeah, okay, okay, yeah.
Look, man,
I
look,
don't know
man.
the first thing. I ain't had a father, man, but I know I'll probably be better than mine. Shit, for sure. Cause that's not saying nothing, to be honest with you. Cause
Oh,
anybody could be
I get it,
better.
I get it.
Anybody could be better than him. Shit.
So check this out. Here's the not the only, but the first breakdown right in that whole equation is this: availability is the most important ability. As a
Hmm.
if the mother perceives you
That's a fact.
as
Hmm.
available, and I'm not hating, by the way. I'm not saying this to be a hater. I'm just saying, yeah, if you are available to be a parent, of course, you know what I mean. They're gonna home in on you, and not the guy, and not the dumbass that's in prison that might also. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And that is where shit gets complicated for, unfortunately, for everybody. You know what I mean? And the ultimate victim is the kid, of course. It's like, fuck, dude, fuck. Right? It's like, you're number one. You don't want, because, okay, as dudes, let's just be real. None of us want no bitch getting anything over on us, right?
Yep.
On the other hand, don't I feel like, anyways, most of us don't want to sit there and watch some poor kid, you know what I mean, get raised in a horrible environment because we decided to just, lay back. It's a fucked up position to get put in. It's a fucked up position to get put in.
Yeah, I could never do that to my kid, man. Couldn't see myself ever doing that.
Well, see, and then, like I said, it gets more fucked up when you do a dumbass thing like I did, and you're like, okay, your choice, paternity test or abortion. Well, at the time, it's like, okay, if she takes the abortion, you feel justified. But as you get older, you realize it's not as simple as that. You know what I mean?
She had the abortion, not you.
What's that?
She had the abortion, not you, right?
Yes.
Yeah, obviously. So can't put it on you.
No, but me, come on, dude. We're both dudes. You know how it is.
Yeah.
We can't help it. We can't help it. It's the reason. It's the reason, right? That you have the whole old saying about Captain Save a Ho. Don't be Captain Save a Ho, right?
Hmm.
Why do you think there's the axiom about don't be Captain Save a Ho? Because all of us want to be Captain Save a Ho, right? That's it's a male what do you call it? A proclivity. You know what I mean? Right? It's a male you know what I mean? A thing we trend towards. Not necessarily all of us, right? But enough of us to make a difference.
But
To,
most of
to,
them out here is like the song. Don't save her.
exact.
She don't want to be saved. Don't save her. She don't want to be saved. Say, yeah,
You got it exactly.
yeah, man.
And where it gets even more fucked up, right, is, God bless them, the poor females in the equation, right? If they're being completely logical, right, they're looking about who's the most stable individual, not who is actually the biological father. They're
Yeah,
more interested in, and I'm not hating. I'm saying I understand why they go. This happens. they are more focused on who's the most stable male in my life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When they get, well, there you go, right? You got a whole bunch of like, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
equations. Whether it's me and my dad, him and his dad, because I mean it gets even more complicated when you get into them older generations. Like because my dad and my mom, my dad's side, he was the last of 6 kids. My mom was the last of 7. And that was considered normal for, a normal number of kids back then. So this would be what? 40s, 50s, 60s? Give or take,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, half a dozen kids was completely normal. Good luck with that, right? Who can afford half a dozen kids nowadays? Right. I mean, immediately, right off the bat, you know what I mean? Let's, just throw that little bit out there, right?
Yeah.
Back in the day, right? Here, and this is another thing that I think maybe got lost in translation, right, between generations, and this is a whole other subject we can get into is the gaps in generations and the speed at which generations change. But that's a whole other thing. So one thing that got lost in translation is the idea that it doesn't matter who you think might have been the father. If that's your old lady and she's pregnant, that's your kid, right? That was the way it was for my grandfather on both sides, right? I'm not saying that's good, bad, or indifferent. I'm just saying that was, you know what I mean, the cultural norm, right? You didn't do what I did and go, okay, bitch, I'm gonna get a goddamn paternity. Even if there was paternity tests, they didn't do that back then, right? So it's like the whole world's, you know what I mean? If you think about it, the whole world's kind of been turned upside down in some sense. But between number one, the number of kids people can afford, and then how people treat the ambiguity of paternity. Oh, there's one. The ambiguity of paternity. How's that for the title of the heavy metal song? The ambiguity of paternity. But you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
So and again, it's like, and then it's like, well, what about the fucking poor kids? I mean, fuck, they got to have somebody there, right?
Yeah.
And then that just further complicates the equation, for everybody. It's like, oh, fuck. The mom, of course, that just further, for one, it just makes it more likely that the mom is going to try and simplify things and say, okay, whoever the current significant other is, the dad, right? Regardless of whether they are or not. And then you have the further complication of, well, okay, I may know that you're not the fucking, I'm not the fucking father, but how much do I want to doom this poor kid, right, to a fatherless existence?
Yeah, I'm just listening to you.
I'm just throwing shit out there. I'm dude, it's almost midnight.
I know, man. My mind's been everywhere, man. Lately, it just, I don't know. I gotta go later and go see somebody I ain't seen in a while when I grew up with, and just back in the casket, dead, gone, and you know what I'm saying. It just, I don't know, man. It's just everything dealing with life. It's just one thing after fucking another, man.
Luckily enough for me, I'm at the stage in my life where it's strictly fucking prostitutes. I'm not even trying to say like that is a good thing. I'm just saying it's like, yeah, you know what? I don't even fuck with them.
Hey, at the end of the day, most of them are prostitutes. Prostitutes either way.
Hey, I know what I'm getting, Ty. I know what I'm getting. You know what I mean?
Paying or you ain't paying.
100%. It's like in this case, it's a fucking clear. We state the transaction way ahead of time, right? Everything that is or isn't going to be included is declared. Everybody's happy. At least that's been my experience. You know what I mean? And I, like I said, at the same time, in the back of my mind, I keep waiting for that goddamn cunt of an ex-wife to come back and go, oh, hey, check out your kid that I don't want to fucking, take care of on my own anymore. I'm going to be like, oh, fuck.
Yep.
Ah.
Yeah. I appreciate you, man. Let me get on here and talk to you. I just got, man.
Same. No, I appreciate you. I appreciate you jumping on it all, Ty. Just to fucking have whatever kind of conversation. Because I'm
I gotta get ready for this type of day. So
Yep. I gotta get going too. All right, everybody listening. Whoever that
Doc,
might
how
be.
many times do you come on, Doc?
No, this is my first. This is like my first time, basically. I'm just
Oh, it
gonna,
is?
Yeah. I'm hoping I'll get Mr. Pads and Bruce Gass on here next time we go around.
Yeah, man. When I see you come on, bro, I'll jump on here, bro.
Okay, so what I'm thinking is like, it might be a couple weeks, but hopefully what it will be is like a timing situation where, like, say for example, you, I, and Bruce Gass are all kind of like, hey, we're all free at the same time, right? And we'll dive in and go from there. Something like that. Makes sense?
Man.
All right.
Yes, hey, you have a good one, Doc, man. God bless you, bro.
Absolutely. You too, sir. You too, sir. And may all of our unclaimed children also.
I like that, man.
Yeah. All right. Peace, brother. Peace.
All right, Doc. I pray, man. Be good, brother.
Yes.
All right.